Yeah, I'm just saying my three.
All right.
Three.
All right.
I can't speak.
Hi, Tiller. So we are about to dive into it's the new intro, Dad wants me to do. Tiller or Tillers? Because my YouTube audience are the Tillers of the garden. I actually like it, but I don't know if I want to say Tiller or Tillers. I figure I just turn it into a name and say hi, Tiller. Anyway, I already ruined the intro. Okay, so we're about to dive into DEJA Vu, which was, well, you explain it now that I've stopped you from explaining it off camera.
So, DEJA Vu is a video game collaboration. I don't know what the game is, so anyone who knows can share it with you. It's definitely one that, like, if there's anyone who's decided to join you on your journey and follow your journey with Dreamcatcher, they were definitely waiting for you to get to this song because DEJA Vu is a huge fan favorite. It's got a lot of iconic lines in it. Han Dong's most iconic line is in it, so.
Okay. And because of that, the graphics are good. And then this is the one that I was reminded of when I rewatched the other, Olympic sports, whatever kind of video about the kind of history of Dreamcatcher. Other extreme sports, that one. That this is the one where the weird hijinks were going on around behind the scenes. Had nothing to do with the group that they were going up against, but all to do with, like, this is weird. This is someone's pulling something for some reason, and we don't know why.
The story in the music video you really have to pay attention to because it's a really good story. It's like a movie or TV show type storyline.
Which is different what I was just talking about. Okay. Yeah. So, alright, subtitles are off. Let's dive in. I'm gonna guess they're all gonna fight for that throne. But I look so pretty with the dark brown hair.
I thought she looked so soft on DEJA Vu.
She's so cute. A lot of deep, dark, lower notes here.
That's Han Dong's most iconic line.
Oh, that was Han Dong. That's pretty. That was Xian. It was so high. Oh, those are pretty.
Pay attention to Yuyan and Jiu for the storyline stuff.
Okay. Oh, we got Blue Roses. That's come later. Is Blue Rose also in connection with DEJA Vu?
It's video game collaboration though, yeah.
Same video game?
I don't know. It probably is. Someone can tell us, but...
Dami coming in with these soft, sweet notes.
But notice how it's like they're at a funeral?
Yes. So we kind of, again, we
kind of have this
seen twice now with.
But it's reversed now.
Well, I mean, it's reversed. I mean, it's still Jiu holding the sword,
Yeah.
but it's on the other opposite side. Is it an RPG game?
Probably.
Role-playing game?
Probably.
Okay.
But someone else can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I didn't really look up or check any theories for the music video. I kind of just put together my own estimate of what the storyline is.
I do know that the graphics get a lot more cool from here. And then it's almost like so the previous from what I remember from the previous scene when we're in the throne room, it's a bit neater. Like the runner was straight and perfect, and the clothes were a lot kind of more suit-like. And now we have almost more fantasy-like clothes, and the runner is like messed up, so it's almost like there was a big fight. There's kind of green growing everywhere, so we got a little of that. But I'm assuming the conflict is mainly between Yuyeon and Jiu, which is interesting, because again, I know that DEJA Vu is separate from what we've experienced with their music videos previously, but I kind of I like the fact that the leader, who was eventually leading the charge to save Yuyeon, is now in conflict with her character-wise. And then the other members just seem to be witnesses. Everyone's got some nice, pretty lines. Just gonna get him the sword in the fight.
But now she's in
the blue roses. So it's a game that could have multiple outcomes.
I kind of have a theory on that right there. So, we'll have to actually, hold on, let's watch this scene real quick.
Oh, alright, okay.
As you see, Yuyeon picks up the sword.
Yeah.
And Jiu was in the coffin.
So she stopped the fight, didn't want to continue the war.
But
Yuyeon
wanted throne. That's what it looks like. It looks like Jiu was the rightful heir of the throne, but Yuyeon wanted the throne. That's what it looks like to me.
Those are that you would get really hot in those.
In the coats?
Yeah.
Probably have a lot of moisture in.
Sun versus moon. So butterflies? Oh, it's moths. I knew it was going to be moths. Some kind. That's a connection we do with the moon and moths and so on and so forth. And the night. You know, the moths flutter around in the daytime. They're kind of representations of night versus day.
So from what I saw in the music video is that Jiu ended up being in the coffin, meaning Yuyeon had done what she did to Jiu to take the throne. And it looked like the deja vu part was that she was surrounded by her friends, now her friends are gone because of her decision. That's what I feel like happened.
Well, deja vu is the same phrase when you say that, you know, when something happens the same way, the same exact time. Like, the same way before. So when someone says deja vu, it's like you've seen the scene before because something's happened the exact same way. Video is replaying in case we see something. So from what I've gathered, so we have Yuyeon sitting on the throne. But I think when the black comes over it, it's kind of a throwback to when I think Jiu is supposed to have the throne. But the way that it's edited, it was like peaceful under her because she has these beautiful pinks and all of the other stuff. And maybe it was very peaceful.
I just noticed these like dark, like
nights around Handong. Yes,
like black nights, and then Sua's leaving.
Yes. So
and the doors
what I'm trying to get at is that from what I can tell is that I think when Yuyeon's on the ground and all white, it's the ghost of Jiyu kind of sort of as like a threat of what you've done to me now will be done kind of on a bigger scale. I think that's kind of the deja vu, like where I've seen this scene before, but obviously like reversed. So let me finish my theory before you interrupt. Because I hear you breathe.
No, I was saying, oh.
Yes. So what I can tell is that it's her kingdom, almost like, and she's kind of the moonlight there versus the sun. Instead of the sun burning brightly and warm, it's a very harsh sun. And so what we see is that kind of, she's bringing her destruction around for each other. So at the end of the music video, so the beginning we see kind of, it's empty. The halls are empty. It's not beautiful. And she's sort of by herself. But it used to be this kind of beautiful kingdom with Jiyu as the leader. My family's telling me it's bedtime.
And she was surrounded by friends.
Yeah, so all of that. But Yuyeon's character being power hungry, burning harshly as a sun, instead of living in peace with the moon, wants to kind of overpower her. And Jiyu, not wanting to actually be at war, gives up, the sword. But Yuyeon's character wants power, so she takes down Jiyu.
Stabs her in the back.
Yes, literally. And that brings about the destruction. So we see sort of, a very empty hall, and then we see kind of evidence of sort of the battle that went on. And then at the end of the music video...
I'm looking at their gazes. They're giving her such a scornful look.
Yes, at the end of the music video, Yuyeon, there is no castle. Yuyeon's sitting on the throne, and it's just rubble around her. There's nothing there. She's just on rock. So she's... But who is she? What is she the queen of? Nothing. So utterly destruction. Yeah. So I'm assuming the game has to do with kind of a power struggle like this. I don't know, I guess the sun versus the moon, or some sort of like kind of bigger power going on.
It seems that the choices that Yuyeon made, at first it showed that she was surrounded by friends and she was happy and she had you, but then you could see that she wanted more, and because she wanted the throne, which basically it looked like all of them went to Jiyu's funeral and then they all left Yuyeon.
Yes. Because of the decisions that were made.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that's the story. We see again the destructive, kind of like the greenery growing in. So sort of almost, she's just sitting on this throne like nothing's being accomplished, and slowly gets destroyed and falls apart around her. And yet, what's interesting is it kind of makes sense like that the moon looks closer than the sun. But I think it maybe also is a reference to the fact that no matter how harshly the sun burned, the moon still has kind of her role to play. I don't know, something like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming the game is this sort of I'm assuming the game is this sort of kind of not only battle game, but also probably on a bigger scale, bigger powers going on. And the deja vu, I'm assuming, means that there are multiple endings. So you could end one way, or it could end another. Because again, the deja vu is the thing is like you think you were experiencing something before, but you're experiencing it for the first time. Or there's a certain level of monotony. I've had moments like that where sometimes because it's a dream that's come true, but sometimes it's just that life can be so monotonous you can experience the same moments over and over again very similarly.
Very first line. That's the very first line.
Two lightless eyes. Your two lightless eyes. And again, there is Yuyeon walking up to a very empty, dark,
surrounded by shadow
and fog. Yeah, and again, if she's representation of the sun, well, I'm assuming Jiyu's the moon, considering the moths, but I don't know. I could be wrong there.
I also want to say it's interesting how both times Dreamcatcher have been in a mess or conflict, it's always because of something between Yuyeon and Jiyu.
It's Yuyeon's fault.
First, it was that because Yuyeon killed Jiyu's spider. Now it's because Yuyeon killed Jiyu. Yeah, see, first they were there and now they're here.
Yeah, I think she's seeing a ghost of Jiyu. I think that's what's really going on. But I also love because this is more story focused and because it's in partnership with the game, we have very little choreo. But I do love the choreo. The black raincoats seem exhausting to be in and maybe a little too hot. But the beautiful white and gold outfits with the cool flowy sleeves.
Yeah.
I really, really like those. And usually I'm assuming choreo comes first. So I think the designer did a really good job of creating a costume that would sort of emphasize and enhance a lot of the arm movements that we're seeing.
They always have choreo that can work with how they sing.
Oh, okay.
So that they can sing easily or sing live.
And I've seen clips. They have a very cute, I don't know if they have they had the same choreographer this whole time, or did she come later? They have a really cute relationship with their choreographer.
Their main choreographer, yeah. Who was actually, I think, was it Produce 101 or Produce 48? She went on one of the Produce shows. But I think she's sort of been there early on.
She's fine. She seems very similar to Sua. I'm like, oh no, and there's two of them.
Mm-hmm.
But this is really cool. I like it. This is cool how it almost got them their first win. Probably would have if Hijinks weren't played again. There's nothing to do with Dreamcatcher or the group they were going up against. It's just that shady stuff happens no matter... In every country on every award show, someone's going to do something stupid because they want a certain outcome or they don't like a certain thing. We're experiencing now in the States heavily certain awards or nominations being taken away from people simply because of one reason or another. It's really dumb. And the Grammys are only getting it worse, and the Oscars are getting it worse too. That's all I gotta say about that. But the music video is beautiful. The choreo, we don't get much of it in the music video. But I like how with this is that the storyline's kind of specific but vague enough that it kind of makes you go, wait a minute, and this is in partnership with a game. What's the game going to be about? Is this going to be as epic as this? Is this going to be a big battle? Is it role-playing? Is there multiple possibilities? Multiple endings? So that's what I'm...
Deja Vu is how I picked my bias. It's where I noticed Xion.
Oh.
Xion's my bias.
Okay. That's all I've got to say. Anything you want to add?
No. Because...
It's fun. I do like Piri a little bit more, though.
I feel like if I try to add anything, I might make a mistake, so I'm just going to wait for others to share what everything's all about.
Yeah. I don't know. It's super pretty. I like it. And interesting, though, how it's separate from the storyline-wise, but almost also kind of fits in a weird way. Especially with the incorporation of the smoke. So I'm wondering I'm sure there was a certain level of influence of like, hey, here's our game's about, this is what we would like to see in the music video if we give you the money. But I think there's little references like the smoke that we see, like Yu Yan being the antagonist, that sort of references to what we've experienced with the whole Nightmare series, right? What it's called. So I think there's little references like that. So it does, if that's true, it does, it's cool because it does seem, and then also look at the Dreamcatcher redesign. That's pretty cool too.
That kind of has to do with their albums and stuff. They do redesigns and all that stuff.
That's cool. Which also makes it
it's
very...
an era thing.
That's what makes it annoying when you're trying to, like, be proper with the logos in music videos. You're, like, out of the frame. You're out of the frame. It is kind of annoying, though, when you're trying to do logos for the thumbnails and you keep finding multiple ones, and even the ones that you want to use, you can't because you can't find it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is really fun. I liked it. I like Piri, though, a little bit more. Deja Vu is really cool, and the music video is strong. But I think if I had to like pick between the two of them, I would pick Piri over Deja Vu.
Next is Rose Blue. So it was the other. I think it's for the same game. I think it's just the next collaboration. I feel like
it makes sense since there's blue roses literally in this music video. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Go check out the other reactions. And till next time.